Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10. I am Red the Fox, and I am Anthony Gamer, and today we're going to be discussing our top 10 Imagic games for the Atari 2600. Alright, Imagic was a third-party game company there, and it was probably, I would say, the second most popular of them, right behind Activision. It was founded in 1981 by some former guys that worked for both Atari and Mattel, and at one time they were very, very popular. Matter of fact, they started off really strong. However, unfortunately, because of the video game crash of 83 and 84, the company really never recovered from it. And in 1983, they laid off 40 of their employees, but it just wasn't enough. And by 1986, they were gone. Activision did purchase the rights to all their games, and just kind of a sad story that, the video game crash ended up getting rid of them. Yeah, I know, but, there were a lot of them that unfortunately didn't survive it. But to be honest, I remember the commercials they had were really cool. Not only that, they also made games for other systems as well as the Atari 2600. Like they had a couple for PC, I believe, or the early PC, Intellivision, ColecoVision, Odyssey 2, IBM PC Junior, that's what I meant, VIC-20, Commodore 64. You name it, they pretty much made games for it. And it's a shame that they didn't last as long as other companies because they had some great games. So before we get started there, go ahead and give them our usual, disclaimer. Okay, so this list is simply based on our opinions. We mean absolutely no disrespect to anybody. If your opinions are different than ours, that's your right. That's why they're opinions. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our top 10 Atari 2600 games by Imagic. Are you ready? Oh yeah, I'm ready when you are. All right, so let's get started. And at the number 10 spot there, we have Fathom. This one was released in 1983 and was programmed by Rupp Fulop. In this game, you are trying to rescue Neptune's daughter. You play as a dolphin and a seagull. Your goal is to swim and fly through multiple screens, searching for starfish that will give you a piece of Neptune's trident. Once the trident is assembled, you can release Neptune's mermaid daughter from her prison at the bottom of the sea. Pretty fun game, very colorful, but can get quite frustrating after a while. Definitely one of them kind of lost classics. Okay, and at the number 9 spot, we have No Escape. This was released in 1983, and this is kind of a breakout style game. Now, you control Jason, the hero, as you probably remember from Jason and the Uggernauts, a hero who can throw stones to temporarily defeat his enemies. Unfortunately, the enemies are able to multiply when hit by Jason's rocks. Jason must use his rocks to knock out bricks from the ceiling in a manner similar to Breakout. These, in turn, fall and are used to wipe out Furies, his enemies. Really a cool game, definitely one that I didn't play until here recently, but once I started playing it, I just couldn't stop. It's a shame I hadn't played this game as a kid, because I probably would have played the heck out of it back when I was young. And next here at the number 8 spot, we got Firefighter there. Now, this game here was released in 1982 and was programmed by Brad Stewart, the man who programmed Breakout and Asteroids. In this game there, you take on the role of the firefighter, and you're trying to save this guy from the burning building in the shortest amount of time possible. It can be kind of challenging, but once you get the hang of it, it's a pretty fun game there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't a buddy of yours, that Dr. Clue guy, make a hack out of this? He sure did. Now, as many of you know, Dr. Clue is a huge fan of Miner 2049er, and so am I. I've worked with him on a couple projects. Great guy. And they originally were supposed to make a Bounty Bob game kind of similar to this, I believe, about with him being a firefighter, but I don't think it got past the planning stages, so he decided to make his own. So there's a hack of this in which you take on Bounty Bob doing the same thing. Like I said, a fun game, but unfortunately one I did not discover until here recently. I wish I'd played this more as a kid too, because this game can be quite addictive pretty quickly. Now, this next game here is one we played the heck out of as we were kids. Oh yeah, this is Cosmic Ark. This one was released in 1982 and is considered the sequel to Atlantis. Your mission is to gather specimens from different planets aboard your Cosmic Ark, which contains survivors from the city Atlantis. In the game's first screen, you must fend off waves of meteors from all sides of the screen, pushing the joystick in the direction you want to fire. The second stage requires you to pilot the small ship from Atlantis' ending scene to the surface of a planet, using its tractor beam to pick up life forms from the surface. While you're near the surface, planetary defenses will be firing at you. If your ship is hit, a creature will be returned to the planet's surface from your shuttle. You'll need to navigate the ship back to the surface again. Alright, so again, it's a pretty cool game. One, I didn't even know it was supposed to be a sequel to Atlantis, because I think this is one of those games that we played where we didn't have the instruction manual, and we just kind of had to figure it out. Yep, that's for sure. But yeah, like I said, a pretty fun game, and one we've been playing for decades. Now, this next one here is one that we didn't discover until recently, and that's Shooting Gallery. Yep, now this is kind of Imagic's answer to Carnival. You're basically shooting at stuff, trying to conserve your bullets, and getting a high score. Pretty good game. Not wholly original, but definitely a game that's a whole lot of fun. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Oh yeah. And this is a game that we played a lot as kids, and this is Dragonfire. This one was released in 1982. Now, in this game, you are a knight trying to jump over the Dragonfire and grab as many treasures as you can without getting killed by the dragon. Pretty easy concept, but boy, this game gets real hard in upper levels. Oh, I tell you what, yeah, it's like... Yes, wow. Yeah, it's definitely a game that takes a lot of dexterity, which we kind of waved bye-bye to several years ago. Yep, definitely a game for the younger players, that's for sure. Okay, there, now at the number 4 spot there, we got Demon Attack, and this was released in 1982, and is considered by many people, us included, to be one of the great all-time Atari 2600 games, period. It's one of those fixed space shooters. Really a fun game, yeah, but unfortunately this game got them in a lot of trouble because Atari tried to sue them because they said it was too similar to their game Phoenix, and we don't really know what came of the lawsuit. They did settle out of court, but overall, like I said, yes, this is a great game, and in my opinion, it is much better than Phoenix. And at the number 3 spot, we have Trick Shot from 1982. Now, I just reviewed this on my channel in my episode about pool games, and some of you may be asking, why is it so high up? Well, because I loved this game as a kid. I played the heck out of it. It was my introduction to the game of pool. Yeah, it's not one of the best pool games out there, but I tell you, I spent many hours playing this game, and I just love it. Yeah, I tell you what, it's good to play by yourself or with somebody else. Oh, for sure, definitely. And one game that pretty much kickstarted pool games for home gaming consoles. Now we're going to take a little bit of heat for this one. Yeah, that's true, but you know. And that is the number 2 spot, and that is Atlantis. What can you say about this game? It's just a fun game. The colors are great. The sound is great. It's a great shooter game. They had a big contest for people that did exceptionally well, and they got that Atlantis 2 cartridge that is highly sought after by collectors, and it's just a much harder and faster version of this game, which is saying something because boy, in later levels this game gets really, really hard. Definitely one of the very first Atari 2600 games I ever played, and it's one that still has a special place in my heart, thus why it's rated so high here. And at the number 1 spot there, we have Riddle of the Sphinx. Now, this game was released in 1982 at the height of Imagic's popularity, and this game is just something else. Exactly. We had an episode totally dedicated to playing this game along with the book. It's a great adventure game for those of you that like challenging games with a great story behind it. This is it. For those of you like me that really enjoyed Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's in the same vein as that. You use both controllers. Now, it is possible to beat this game without the book. I did it as a kid, but you really get a lot more out of it when you have the instruction manual with you and you learn all the mechanics of the game and the story behind it. It's just a great game. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar, the story is that you are an Egyptian prince and you have to collect treasures to save your kingdom from a great famine. You come into contact with several of the Egyptian gods like Isis and stuff like that, and you have to give special treasures to each of the monuments to appease the gods. And if you are successful, you get a really nice score at the end of the game. So check out my episode where I went in a full walkthrough of it. It's a great game and probably, in our opinion, the best game that Imagic ever made. Well, that concludes this episode there of Classic. I almost said Classic Gamer 74. Well, this concludes this episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10. We really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, let us know by giving us a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already there. And don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when we upload some new episodes there, eh? So, what are we going to do in our next one? Well, I was thinking our next one we could do the Atari 2600 games made by 20th Century Fox. Oh yeah, I really like that one. Well, of course you would. But we're going to let you know ahead of time that I know there were a lot of prototypes for that, but we're going to talk about just the top 10 games that were released. Yep. All right. Well, until next time, this is Anthony Gamer, and I am Red Dot Fox. We wish you all a great week and a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.